We work hard enough for our money, so if I can give you some tips on how to keep some more of your money in your pocket and reduce your expenses, then that's certainly something I want to do. Today I've got 5 tips for you to help you save some money, and watch all the way to the end, we've got a bonus tip there as well. So number 1 is to change banks, both your credit and debit accounts. If you happen to be with a bank that's charging you a fee for your everyday transaction accounts or your savings accounts, then you certainly need to look at changing that. Do some shopping around and find a better alternative. For daily transaction accounts, there's so many banks now that offer these free. No monthly account keeping fees or transaction charges. For savings accounts, there are also plenty of online savings account providers offering better interest rates than most banks. If you are saving for the short term, then these accounts are definitely the ones to choose. Now, about 1/3 of Australian households have a mortgage, and if you're in this position, then you also need to regularly check for better deals on your home loan. Every couple of years is usually sufficient, but can depend on if you currently have a fixed rate loan and the timing on that loan. Now, if you have a credit card, you need to check if the rewards from using that credit card cover the yearly fee. If not, then you need to consider changing to a zero-fee credit card that has an interest-free period of at least 50 days. And also here, you want to look for any interest rates that are really low, because if you don't make your payments, you're going to be charged massive amounts of interest. Some cards are up to 20% interest. So if you can find one that's got a low interest rate on it, that's a bonus as well. The second tip is to change your electricity provider, and for some states also your gas. Electricity providers are always trying to attract new customers. So once a year, give them a call and say, hey, can you do a better deal for me? This is really important to do because sometimes they'll just roll you over into a more expensive plan. There's also government comparison websites that allow you to check what other retailers are offering. And if you can find a better deal, you can either take up that deal or you can go back to your current retailer and say, hey, can you match this? Now, if you happen to live in a part of the country where you also can have gas supply, you want to do the same thing with this. Once a year, check with that company, can you do me a better deal? If not, shop around and see if you can get a better deal from somewhere else. There are 2 government websites that you can use to compare energy plans, both electricity and gas. Energy Made Easy can be used wherever you live in Australia, but at the moment the energy price comparison feature is only available in Tasmania, the ACT, South Australia, New South Wales and Queensland. Other states will join over time as legislation in the respective states changes. The website can be used to compare all generally available electricity and gas plans. You can even look for green power options and solar power feed-in tariffs. No matter where you live, this website also lets you compare the usage in your household compared to other similar sized households in your area. So you can see if you're using more electricity than what you should be. Now, if you live in Victoria, you can, at the time of this video, use the following website for energy comparison. It's compare.energy.vic.gov.au. Tip number 3 is to change your home internet or mobile phone provider. Access to the internet has been inextricably woven into our lives over the last 20 years. Right? Everything you do, you can do on the internet. So we can make some really big savings here if we look around at our mobile phone charges, how much we're getting charged per month for that, and also our home-based internet. Shopping around here, you can really get some savings if you're currently on a not so good plan. Unfortunately, there's no government website to help you get a better deal on phones and internet. So it's just going to take a bit of legwork, a bit of looking around, comparing different websites, comparing different deals, and seeing if you can get something better than your current offers. With regards to mobile phones, currently Telstra has the largest coverage in the country. A lot of the other providers are very close, but Telstra covers the most areas in Australia. So if you're fortunate to live in an area with multiple providers, then you can shop around, you can choose from different ones. This is good if you don't tend to leave the urban area or the regional area you're in. If you're not going to go travel remote, it can be quite beneficial because you'll get a cheaper deal. You're not paying that Telstra premium of their coverage of Australia. Occasionally, you might find a provider that actually uses the Telstra network. So this is quite common. Different companies will actually use Telstra's network to provide mobile phone services. Now, they can come up with a cheaper deal because they're trying to get new customers, but you do have to be careful at the end of the contract that they don't roll you onto a more expensive plan. So just be careful with that, that if you do take one of those cheaper deals on the Telstra network, that you look out for that rollover increase in your contract. It is unfortunately common in the contract services industries, so just be mindful of that and be aware that you might get a good deal to start with, but it could turn quite expensive after a year or so. If you are on a contract, always at the end of the contract as it's coming up, start looking around for better deals, take it to your current provider and say, look, your competition's doing this, are you willing to match it? If they're not, then change, right? Get out of that contract and go somewhere else that's cheaper and more affordable. Sometimes it might also be best to, once you've paid off your phone, if you've got it on a contract and you're paying it off, once you've paid it off, you might want to go to a month-to-month plan. Sometimes they can be cheaper as well. For internet in Australia, the installation of the National Broadband Network, the NBN, has meant that there isn't a significant difference in the prices offered by providers. But it is possible to save based on the size of the plan you use, and even bundling your home internet service with other services, such as your mobile phone or utilities like electricity and gas. Several companies are now doing this bundling options. Tip number 4 is looking at insurance. The whole premise of insurance is that you never know when something might go wrong. And you have to consider, am I ready? Am I prepared financially that if something terrible did go wrong, could I recover from it? You can get insurance for damage to your home or its contents, your car or motorbike, your health, or even your income. You can also get insurance in case you're sued by someone, or if you become disabled and need money to cover your loss of wages and the increased health costs that you'd have to deal with. Insurance works by you providing, and lots of other people providing, a small amount of money that goes into a bigger pool. Now, if you're the unfortunate person that suffers an insurable event, the loss of something or maybe even a death, you are the one that pulls out of that pool, right? So you get a large amount of money to cover your losses. Now, nobody wants to claim on insurance. Nobody wants to suffer through a loss that is devastating to them financially. Unfortunately, insurance companies have a habit of increasing premiums at the end of your yearly contract. So what you need to do is check your new renewal notice against your previous payment a year before and see how much it's gone up by. Now, if it's gone up by more than inflation, you need to start shopping around. Go to other insurance companies and say, hey, this is what I need, how much are you going to cover me for, and what price will that be? Now, if you like your current insurance company, you might go back to them and say, you know what, this is what I've been offered elsewhere, can you match it? Now, if they can't match it, if they're not willing to, then take up the better offer. That's a free market and that's what we can do. Now, these first 4 tips are things that you should do regularly. You can either shop around when your contract with a supplier is about to expire, or you can choose a certain time each year to do a check of the best offers. You can choose your birthday or the first week of a particular month, or some other yearly anniversary that you'll remember is your time to go hunting for a bargain. Put it in your calendar as a yearly event so you'll never forget. Tip number 5 is to utilize shopping rewards. There are so many shopping reward schemes available in Australia, all the way from the simple coffee shop 10th coffee it's free card up to your big computerized data-driven programs such as Flybuys and Woolworths Rewards. Depending on your spending habits, some of these rewards can be extremely lucrative to you, but there is a caution. Many of these programs will use your data, analyze it, send you marketing, advertise certain products to you, and really they're designed to try and get you to spend more. So if you don't use them wisely, they can be something that actually doesn't provide you a benefit. It actually makes you spend more money. Also, thinking about the fact that sometimes they do sell data about you through these programs, and it's all set out in the terms and conditions to other companies. So if you don't want your privacy compromised like that, then maybe avoid using these schemes. But if you're okay with that and happy to take the benefits, if you're smart enough to control how the rewards come through, then so be it. Go with it and save a lot of money. Also, these schemes can push out a lot of marketing towards you, a lot of advertising, and it can really derail your savings plans. So as long as you're aware of that and you're happy to use it, they can be really beneficial, or that for some people they can be a bit of a disaster. Keeping that in mind, let's have a look at some of the rewards programs available in Australia. So there's lots of rewards programs linked to travel. Airlines, petrol stations, hotels, cruise companies, even airlines. So that's probably the big one. The airlines, car rental is there as well. So anything to do with travel, there will be a reward program, and you can join any of these and sign up, and you'll get lots of advertising associated with them. But if you travel a lot, there can be quite a lot of savings. There's also rewards through supermarkets and department stores. David Jones, IGA, Howard, Storage World, Woolworths, Myers, Dan Murphy's, Catch.com, IKEA, Flybuys. These are all supermarket and department store schemes that can save a lot of money for you. Everyday Rewards covers Woolworths, BWS, Big W, Bupa, Ampol, Caltex, operated by Woolworths, Origin Energy, Qantas Frequent Flyer, Super Pharmacy, Pet Culture, Everyday Market, Healthy Life, Marley Spoon and Dinnerly. Lots there. Flybuys covers Coles, Bunnings, Citibank, there's HCF, so health insurance, there's Liquorland and First Choice Liquor, there's travel programs, Kmart's in there, Clean Heat, quite a few different ones there. You've also got MyCar, NAB, Officeworks, Optus, Shell Coles Express, Target and Velocity Frequent Flyer. So Flybuys and Woolworths Rewards, the two biggest ones in Australia. Okay, so it's time for my bonus tip. This is all about having a budget and sticking to it. When you go shopping, say, you know what, I can't buy that, I've got to save for this. I can't buy that, I'm saving for this. Keep repeating a mantra to yourself if an impulse buy is a real issue for you. Keep those impulses under control. Try and break that habit. It's really difficult to do for some people, but if you can really try and break those habits, then that's going to help you on your savings goals and to save some more money. So if you find that you go to the shops and you buy anything you see, you've really got to train yourself to stop that and prevent those impulse buys. So to recap, my top 5 tips to save money are: first, change your bank. Second, change electricity and gas provider. Third, change internet and phone provider. Fourth is to change your insurance provider. And number 5 is to use shopping reward schemes, but in the best way possible. Now my bonus was talking about work on controlling your impulse buys. You might fall off the horse, just get back on, refocus your goals, and really focus on controlling your impulses and getting your savings up. I hope you've gained some great ideas from this video, and as always, thanks for watching. Hit like and subscribe, and until next time, keep being a better Aussie man.